Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the weekend live stream, guys. The April month end is coming very close, and Bitcoin yesterday went to over very much. I'm in close to my buy zone. The original buy zone was 62.5. It's literally hit, but I changed my buy. I updated my limit orders from 62.5 to 62, unfortunately. And I do have a reason for that change because of the 702, 706 Fibonacci levels, the previous week value area low that we had. And also, there are some other reasons or the justifications that I have for this whole price action for Bitcoin. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to discuss as to what exactly we should be anticipating from the Bitcoin and what should be our buy the dip zone for Bitcoin. So, I do think, if you remember, I think most likely we should be bottoming around today if everything goes well. I mean, 28th is normally the day where we should be bottoming, and basically also we have a full moon. We had full moon like 2 days back, so normally we bottom around full moon. I mean, if I'm not wrong, but let's understand from the price action perspective. Ethereum did a very nice job pumping up and missed my limits, or I would say the bid zone. If you remember, I mentioned the bid zone on the live stream as well as to everyone that we really want Ethereum to go to 3050 to 2990 levels, and we missed it. We made a highs, which is a good sign. So practically there are multiple options with Ethereum as well. So first of all, we're going to start with Bitcoin. So ladies and gentlemen, what are we looking for on Bitcoin, guys? So today is the weekly closing, which is a very crucial weekly closing. I am damn sure that we are likely going to close weekly under the previous week lows of 64.9. That's very much likely that we are likely going to close. And if we do happen to get close that way, which would also indicate that there is a huge demand over here, so we are likely just going inside the demand and we are bouncing off. So practically we are getting a good amount of demand, and I do think that we also take the golden pocket zone. So I think the next week is going to be very impressive. If we are closing that way as well, I think more or less what we are going to do is maybe like a retest of this sort of thing, and then 1, 2, also just gonna do something like this would be very nice. I mean, like, that's how I would like to see Bitcoin on a weekly time frame. So 64,900 or I would say 64,910 is now a very crucial level for Bitcoin. Okay, so that's a very good number that we have on our table. If you look at from the daily perspective, we don't have that I would say the bad, or I would say the worst candle so far, but still we are having, or we are holding the demand that we are having. But now you really don't want to see BTC going under $61,194. You don't want to see that bigger pullback, and hence I'm just simply waiting for Bitcoin to give us that dip that we really want for to fill our orders on Bitcoin. 61,000, 62,000. I have all the limits set for Bitcoin, and slowly and gradually we are going to buy. Along with that, I also want to buy Ethereum, but I do feel that Ethereum is too far right now, and I really don't know, or I feel that it's not going to give me the levels, or I would say it's not going to practically give me anything at this point. I mean, I'm not sure whether it's going to give us that entry again. Okay, I'm not sure about that at this point. So we just have to patiently wait for Bitcoin to hit our target. So let's move on to the price action on what we should be expecting for Bitcoin. So let's delve into this. So if you look at from the price action perspective on a 2 hours chart, or let's say even a weekly chart, there are two possibilities over here on the Bitcoin. Now, looking to the structure, there is a possibility that we might form a very interesting cipher. Probably the bottom is in, but that is like a wave B over here, and we are likely going to see an impulsive move like pumping up to 66,000 or so, maybe even 66,185 or so. So what does it mean? That that the move on the downside that we saw, that was like A, B, and 5-wave move was like a wave W, you can say. And this is like A, B, and wave move on and upside is like a wave X, and we're likely going to see a move on the downside for wave Y. So how is that gonna play out, and how we should be looking for our buying, basically playing out this whole move actually, because that's the cipher, and the cipher is very, very valid. So the most important part about the cipher is, and why in my eye it is very, very valid, you have to ask yourself first that why you think that it's valid. Normally, if you really want to see a bottom for any coin, let's say Bitcoin or anything, if you really want to see a long-term bottom, and you really want to see that it should pump up big, then you need to ask yourself whether that bottom has happened with 3 waves or bottom has happened with 5 waves. Normally it happens with 5 waves, unless a bigger narrative or a bigger degree of wave count is WXYXZ or WXY, where Y is going to be your 3 waves. So practically right now, I don't see this whole downside move. The wick that we got here seems to me, in my view, as some sort of a WXY. So practically in my view, this is like some sort of a B over here and a very clean wave C over here. So practically that's like a 3-wave move on the downside. And hence, in my view, what I feel is that the move that we have got here, so that's the first. So we have multiple counts here we're going to discuss. So the first scenario that we are having is LTF bullish, and midterm it's going to be bearish, but HTF is still bullish. So every scenario we will discuss lends with $78,000. Okay, $78,000 to $80,000 is going to be our target for overall scenario, because we are playing here the week of accumulation that we already discussed and talk about. So I'm just going to show you one more time so that you guys don't get confused. The first scenario we have is that this is what we discussed in the previous stream as well. I'm just revising so that this is our primary cases, and this primary cases have a smaller degree of wave count. Okay, so this is the bigger wave count. Now we're going to discuss about a smaller degree of wave count. First, the bull case on the lower term time frame, that's what we are following. This blue box is what our buy zone for the Bitcoin, from 62,650 to 61,319. That's the bull case LTF scenario. The bullish wolf waves is also a valid one, that the top is in. We are going to dump it to 57,680 and maybe 56,580, after which we're going to pump. So practically it's going to take a little bit more time than we anticipate. Instead of we pumping it in the month of April, it's not going to finish this whole move till the beginning of so till the mid of May. Even for the first 10 days of April, May, it would be bearish. We're going to keep on chopping, we're going to keep on dumping, we're going to make people believe that the market is dead, and going to make everyone enter into utter, from greediness into being, from greedy, we're just going to make everyone being more and more and more, worry about the market actually. So, this is how the bullish wolf waves work actually. So it's going to make everyone so bearish, where they're going to think that the top is in, the bears are going to scream, and they're going to get wrecked by shorting the bottom. So that's a good scenario actually, but let's see whether this is a valid or not in this stream itself. The ultra bad case scenario, as I mentioned, this is also a very valid one, but at this point I feel that this scenario has a very least probability because of a USD dominance harmonic that we have. So I think at this point this scenario is of least probable. I would not give you more than 10% to this scenario at this point. So ladies and gentlemen, these are the 3 primary cases that we have. Now, so as to support our bullish count, we have schematics. We have schematic 1, or you can also take schematic 2. So both the schematic finally tells us a pump, the bottom is in at 59,600 or 59,800, and we are going to pump to $77,000 to $80,000. So practically that's what both the schematic 1 as well as schematic 2 Both the schematic tells us the same thing actually, which means that the bullish count is having more confluence at this point than the bear case on the HTF. HTF, the bullish count is having a higher weight. So practically, we are aiming $77,000 to $80,000 on HTF. Now the question is, this $77,000 to $80,000 is going to come, but it's going to come from where? Whether we go to 62,000 first, and then it's going to go to 77,000, 78,000, or we go to $56,000, and from there we pump it up to 77,000, 80,000. So that's the only thing we need to understand over here. And for that, we will go to the lower time frame scenarios. Okay, I hope you understood it. Now let's go to the lower term time frame scenarios. So here the lower term time frame is very, very clear to me actually at this point. The cipher looks very, very clean, and this to me, in my view, looks to me like a very clean irregular expanded flat. So practically speaking, in my view, I think the idea over here is that the irregular expanded flat makes more and more amount of sense, and hence this cipher makes more sense to me. So practically, I feel that this pump that we got was like wave A over here. You got a very nice B over here, and now we are getting wave C over here. So that's like, practically we are in the wave C right now. We are already in the wave C over here, and I think the bottom is in, and now we are not going to go back down to 62,600 or maybe even $63,000 at this point. I really don't feel so, but we are not going to go anything under $62,800. So practically what I feel, that this was your wave 1 over here, that's your wave 2 over here, and from here itself we're going to pump it up to 64,680. we're going to reject a little bit, but we won't go back under $63,000. Run it back up to sweep the highs like this, take it the 65,400 bucks, and then we're going to see a little bit more accumulation, choppiness, rejection, go back down to 64,000, and then run it up to 66,000. So that's like a choppy count. Now this is like a first LTF bearish count that we have, which means that we are going to do something like this, chop chop chop, we go back here 61,200 or so, and from there we run it back turbo to $78,000-$80,000. So that's the count that we have on the lower term time frame for Bitcoin. So that's the first wave count that we have. Now I'm just going to save this wave count. Okay, I'm just going to save this wave count, and I'm going to give it cipher 1. So that's going to be like our cipher 1. Okay, so that's the plan 1. Now let's look at the another scenario that we have. So that's the scenario 1 I already discussed. That's LTF bearish, but overall we are bullish. The second scenario we can have over here is a bullish wolf waves, which is a very valid one actually. So which also means that we should not be going beyond 702 Fibonacci levels, or because going above 702, maybe even 786 is going to invalidate my bullish wolf waves. So practically what does it mean? That we really want Bitcoin to stay under $64,400, and that's it. I mean, that's your maybe one more push up, fine, just give us that one more push up, probably a week to 64,400, and then we reject, come back down, a bullish wolf waves one more time, go here to the blue zone, make like very wonderful bullish wolf waves, A, B, C, clean move, and then go for like a breakout, retest, and booyah, we go up to 78,000. So even on LTF we might see a very interesting bullish wolf wave. So the invalidation of this bullish wolf waves would be 64,400 flip. Anything over 64,400 in this bullish wolf waves is going to invalid. So I'm just going to make it another scenario as a diagonal scenario, whatever you name it. You can say bullish wolf waves, you can also say diagonal. There's a very minor difference in both of them. And the bearish case scenario for Bitcoin would be, over here is an irregular expanded flat, which means we ended here, as I mentioned, we literally ended here. This was end of something. Okay, we ended here, the move ended here, and right now we are actually doing, a corresponding, I would say, accumulation, or you can say a very interesting connector. This is like a connector, so if this is a connector of this whole move, meaning that we are likely doing an irregular expanded flat already, means the move that we got, we will be looking for irregular expanded flat A, B, C over here. We just sweep up the highs like this, dump it back down to the blue box, maybe even slightly lower than the blue box as well. Possibility is very, very high. So that's like a slightly bearish, than we anticipate. And from there, we run it up towards $78,000. So that's like a very interesting, irregular expanded flat, which also goes along with our cipher. You can also name it as cipher. It's a very nice confluence with irregular expanded flat. So these are the three scenarios. I would say these are two scenarios itself, because the irregular expanded flat goes along with the cipher very close to this target. It's not going to go to 786 as I mentioned, to 66,000, but just like a swing filler pattern of the highs, 65,000, maybe 65,500, or it can just simply go to the 1:1 extension as well, which would be somewhere around 1:1 extension would be around I'm just going to have it like here, perfect, which will be somewhere around $64,898 to $65,500. That's where the target for Bitcoin would be in case of our scenario. That would be the target, the red box. Okay, it won't go to 66,000 then. That's the minor difference about the irregular expanded flat. So right now we have these three scenarios on Bitcoin, but all the three scenarios is telling me that this is like an accumulation that's happening, after which we are expecting Bitcoin to pump it up towards $70,000, $80,000, which also aligns with my USD DOM plan. Right now what I'm watching is a very interesting sweep of the highs. So practically what I'm watching right now is, I would like to see something like ABC, sweep up the lows, one more push up for 5% levels, reject down, and then probably we go like this, we jump down to 4%, maybe 3.97%, and that's how I think we can get a very, very interesting move on the downside for almost close to 20% across the board minimum, and 15% from the current price, 15 to 18%, as you can see. 16% move on the downside from the current price. So this is what the plan we have for Bitcoin. Now the plan for the Ethereum is slightly different. Why? Because we got a sweep of the highs where Bitcoin haven't yet swept. So which brings us to my alternative theory that right now what I believe is Ethereum is doing an irregular expanded flat, practically meaning this is wave A over here, wave 1, wave A, B, irregular expanded flat, like a double bottom sort of thing. Now we don't go back under to the 2,900, and from there we run out up to break out for like 3,900 or so. So that's how I think any dip for Ethereum towards, now in my view, anywhere towards 3,080 to 3,045 or 40 is a good numbers for Ethereum to buy the dip, in my view. Also, let's talk about so Ethereum, we only have one scenario, we don't have multiple scenarios for Ethereum. Also, let's talk about Bitcoin dominance. So I've been very vocal about it. 54.3 is the levels, and right now we are losing it, which is a good sign. Everything is turning bearish. If you see on the daily, our oscillators are turning bear. RSI confluence, BB confluence, cross confluence. So even 50 confluence is green, which is a good sign. Overall, the thing is that, I think the alt season is here, and, we are literally losing the range highs, which is a very, very good sign, I would say, and I must say. Meaning that you guys should not be afraid of, buying the dips. In my view, if you are literally looking for, a bigger move on Bitcoin, so practically I feel that, any retest you might be getting it. I feel that we are likely going to dump it to 52%, and now we should be going down to 50% levels, meaning that alts are going to outperform Bitcoin by almost, I would say, 8 to 9% minimum. Means if Bitcoin pumps 15% or 20%, let's say for example, alts are going to pump 29 to 30% in that range. So I think at this point, or maybe, Bitcoin dumps 10%, alts are going to just simply dump 2 to 3% and not more. So that is going to give us a very good upper hand on Bitcoin, guys, and the Bitcoin dominance. It's looking absolutely amazing at this point. If you're closing weekly on a 54.3, amazing. I mean, that's a good opportunity in the market actually. SPX, same plan, no changes. A pump was expected, as I mentioned. A pump was expected, and I do expect a little bit more pump to 5,160, 5,167. Talking about Ethereum BTC, ETH BTC over here, if you see, we got a very interesting move on an upside. It missed my missed my buy zone. So practically I feel that right now it's doing ABC at this point. The move on the downside is clearly, A, B, and C. Clearly. Meaning, right now whatever we are watching is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, retest, booyah, 3, boom, 4, 5, and then down like this. So that's how I see Ethereum, Bitcoin. But that also means that the pump we are going to see from here is going to be almost close to 25%, meaning I'm going to convert my 30% of BTC spot bags into Ethereum so that I can make 25% more on Bitcoin with the help of ETH BTC. And we're also going to open a 3x or 2x coin margin ETH BTC contract so that I can literally make like 100% approx with the help of my Ethereum position. So I do think you should also be planning your wealth this way of moving your or revolving your BTC into Ethereum. So that's the ETH BTC plan. FET, for those who I mentioned over the live stream as well, $2 to $1.9 is where you should be buying FET. It literally went to very close to $2, and I feel 2.06. If you haven't bought it yet, I do feel that you're going to get a good opportunity one more time to buy somewhere around $1.9 to $2. So that's where you should be buying, and I do think it's perfectly aligned with the BTC as well. So which is a good sign. So I think FET you should be waiting a little bit. If you're talking about RNDR, RNDR is having a same plan. I did mention about RNDR. I'm still looking for a dip towards 7.5 to $7.3. That's where you should be adding a little bit spot bags, and you should hold, because I do think the good risk reward is at 7.5, 7.3, and a pump from there towards our target of $23 to $25. 23 is a very subjective target because that's a very conservative target based on my estimates. And if you're really looking for a bigger target, it can even go to $28 to $30 as well. It all depends on the hype of AI. Okay, it all depends on the hype. But just imagine RNDR accumulating at the previous all-time highs, where FET was few months back. Just imagine. Look at here. We just look at here. So this is where RNDR right now is just accumulating, and from there FET pumped up from the previous all-time highs towards an upwards of 200% minimum, going up to 3 Fibonacci levels. That's where we can really expect RNDR as well to literally give us a pump to 3 Fibonacci levels, a very minimum pump we needed, which would be on an upwards target of 195 to 198%. Talking about JUP, let's talk about JUP. Let's have a watch. So if you talk about the JUP USDT, let's see the chart on the daily time frame. I think the JUP has finished its 5 waves over here. Very clean 5 waves, you can see. And the way it played out, really nice, I would say. So it is done with its 5 waves over here. Okay, that's a very clean diagonal as well, as you can see from the perspective of a very interesting wave over here. Very clean diagonal 5 waves. So practically speaking, more or less we are looking for, if you talk about from the bottom of this whole thing, let me just have a bottom, because talking about from the bottom perspective, correct, we went to golden pocket zone. Now looking to the 12 hours chart or even the 4 hours time frame chart, it's very hard to say whether the bottom is in. Why? Because if you see here, I count this whole pump as 1, 2, or maybe AB, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's like an ABC, which means that if this is wave 1, this is A, this is B, then this is like wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like a double bottom sort of thing. We need that. We need those things. So on lower term time frame, there are 2 options on JUP. There are 2 options. First option is we dump from here towards 857 and then we run it up turbo. That's the first option. Okay, and the second option is an alternative wave count that we have. We go down, sweep the lows one more time like this, and then we run up like this. It is known as an irregular expanded flat. Practically we go to the golden pocket zone. Not necessarily we should go to 57 cents, not necessarily, but this is an irregular expanded flat. So right now at this point, if you really are looking for buying the dips on JUP or looking for some sort of a breakout, look for this trend line. Once the trend line breaks out, then you look for long opportunities. Your minimum target, in case if it breaks out, your minimum target for JUP would be golden pocket zone to 702. So in case if it breaks out, let's say if it breaks out of this trend line, the green trend line, so then you can aim for a minimum of 30% move, and it can go to 786 for wave B for 46% move minimum. So that's how you should be trading JUP. Right now, if you're buying just in an anticipation that it's going to pump, then you should wait actually, because your risk reward is not gonna be very, very good. Even if you're buying right now, you have to have your stop loss beneath 75.4, which is roughly around 28% from the entry. And if you're aiming for a golden pocket zone target, it's just 1 hour, which means that if you're risking $1, you are just aiming to make only $1 from this whole risk reward point of view. So if you're looking to buy the breakout, your stop loss would be simply under $1, because that's your invalidation, and then you're aiming for 1.5 to 1.6 dollars, so giving us your good amount of return. So that's what you should be looking for JUP. These are the 2 scenarios that I have for JUP. Talking about you know, VU at the moment. Let's also check VU, ladies and gentlemen. So talking about VU, guys, a very interesting part about the VU that I like is that it's holding a support. We have a good range high support of 27.5 cents. So as to speak, over here, what I feel is, you know, the support is held. It's holding very nicely. Even, you know, the we have came back inside this range, but this doesn't make VU very bullish. Why? We need to ask ourselves why. Because let's try and understand from the 12 hours perspective. Let's just look at ourselves. Even if you are saying that this move is A, and even if you are saying that this move is wave B over here, which means that this is wave 1, which is wave 2. We got a big move on the downside with a big red candle over here, as you can see. And this is your wave 4 over here with a bearish engulfing candle on the 12 hours time frame. And we are aiming for one more move down to sweep the lows, and then we should be running up. So practically I feel at this point VU is bearish because it's having a very interesting 12 hours bearish engulfing candle, 4 hour bearish engulfing candle, and both the bearish engulfing candle tells me that we are going to have one more push on the downside, a minimum of 26 cents, 26.9 to 26 cents, and the worst case scenario, we literally go down to sweep the lows of 22.9 cents. So that's what I'm aiming for. VU, just simply have this trend line draw on your VU chart. So this is your trend line. You should be drawing it on your VU chart. Till we don't break this trend line, don't even think of longing or don't even think of buying. You really buy the sweep of the lows, this low, because that low is not safe at this point. Or you look to buy 25 cents to 24 cents, 0.86 Fibonacci levels, and then just buy the spot bags, hold it up, wait for it to break out towards 40 cents, and just move your stops to break even. So this is how you should play VU actually. That's what my plan for the VU is. You know, I'm just slightly going to wait for VU. I'm not interested here. I will either buy the breakout or I just buy the sweep of the lows. That's the, you know, I will either buy the discount zone. The sweep of the lows is nothing but the discount zone, okay? Let's view AR. AR, I think I mentioned I was bearish on AR and it perfectly played out the plan. Okay, on AR, it just did. But right now, what I can say is AR is interestingly having a very interesting, you know, A, B, and C, which means the bottom is in. And AR has just started its own bull run. That is something I can tell you for sure. Now, the most important part about this move for AR is, even if this is wave 1, wave 2 over here, wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5. So the 5 waves are in. Okay, that's a 5 waves. You can also say that's like a very interesting and a cool diagonal. Okay, a very interesting diagonal, as you can see here. It perfectly matches with the volume as well, as every peak that happened, it happened with, you know, a low volume, as you can see here as well. Yeah, here there was a volume was slightly higher, but still the diagonal is still a valid one. Meaning that, you know, you got to move on the downside. Wave A over here swept the lows. B, either the top is in over here, or we might see irregular expanded flat, sweep of the highs. Then we go for running flat or irregular expanded flat. Running flat would not go under, you know, the 32.4 to $32, or maybe we can just simply go down towards support of 27.7 to $27.8, and then we are likely going to run it up to 52, maybe even $58. This chart exactly and is similar to OP before it broke out to new highs. Just wanted to show you because I charted OP a few months back. It perfectly played out, and I remember how OP, you know, did a very interesting thing, pumping up to 1618 Fibonacci levels over here. This was my target, 1618 Fibonacci levels. It played out very, very nicely. Just wanted to show you how OP did that. I'm not charting OP, okay? I'm just showing you how AR looks very, very similar to what we have for OP. So this is your 12 hours chart. slight difference. There's only a slight difference actually. So this is like wave A, B, C. We are right now here. So you got an irregular expanded flat, and then from there we pump it up to 1618 bigger, and then we dump like this. So AR is somewhere around here at this point. In my view, we're going to see a double bottom sort of thing, so that you can get a pump from here, sweeping up the highs and making almost close to 40 to 45% move on and upside. So that's what the AR, you know, is you can expect. Talking about ICP, anybody have any chart request, you can ask me here, guys. I am here available, and we're just going to discuss more about the broadening top and how many alts are having that similar broadening top pattern, and what you can expect from the broadening top, and what we should be expecting down the line for a few days from, you know, practically the market actually, because that's very, very crucial. We really need to discuss this. The reason is why I want to discuss about the market and its and how, you know, the market is going to react is, as I mentioned, you know, the war is getting funded. Ukraine is not gonna stop, and I think we are going to see some deadly war breaking out. Now it's going into a different stages at this point. Lot of indicators are suggesting that you know, European economy is slowing down, US economy is slowing down, and most importantly, as April you know, gets end and we're moving on to May, we are getting very, very close to one of the world's biggest, you know, I would say election season coming in for like US. So these all things are likely going to impact the market by a lot. Okay, ICP is having a very similar chart as like INJ. You can compare ICP with INJ and you will find the answer. Very simple chart, very look alike chart versus INJ. Very much alike chart versus INJ. I'll just look at the chart for INJ and you will know what ICP can do actually. If you look at this INJ chart, you know, over here, very similar charts versus, you know, over here, a very similar chart, ICP and INJ. So the lows are not safe, that is for the sure. Lows are, the low for, you know, ICP is not safe for fall. So even if we are here right now on the ICP, you can expect something like this, and maybe going back down to, you know, towards the levels of 1414 Fibonacci levels. So where the hell is ICP? ICP. So let's try and put the chart of ICP here. So I think the lows are not safe, and if that is the case, a sticky bid you can have it on, you know, ICP at 1414, slightly above 1414. In the event of sell-off happens, and if, you know, shit happens, let's say, then ICP is going to literally go down to 4.8 to 4.9 dollars, and it's gonna go very, very quickly the way INJ did. Someone like this, maybe just lose this equilibrium. Once it loses, khalas, you can expect something like this from ICP going back down from 4.8. It will bounce towards 9.3 in no time. So you can make a good amount of money from there, you know, from 4.8, 4.9, pumping up to, you know, pumping back up to the retesting the range lows. I mean, this is a really good, you know, chart. It's just like a sticky bids. You just have your sticky bids and it fills on the spots. Don't play leverage, guys. You will get wrecked. Even if you want to play leverage, don't go more than 2x. I suggest. We got FET solid, you know, bottom, we call it 1.67 with just 2x leverage. I mentioned very specifically only 2x leverage. Don't go more than that, and still it made you 90% gains actually. Amazing that would have been. So that's ICP plan actually. The bullish case is only once we start flipping the range highs of 16.199. So buy above 16.199 and run it up to $25 plus, or I would say buy at 4.8. That's how you should be. Short ICP once it starts losing equilibrium around $12.9. Once it loses 12.9 on daily, you start shorting it and let it dump to 4.8 actually. ARR pirate chain. I mean, I've never heard of this coin, my friend. ARR pirate chain. Interesting. There is a coin like that. What is this coin? Interestingly, weekly is turning bullish for this coin, but still we have a lot of resistance. Practically, we still have lot of levels you really want to see before you want to be bullish about anything. Okay, I go to the daily time frame. Daily time frame is telling me that we have a triple top, and we might be doing something like this. So if you see here, we have a platinum pattern. So we don't have any bearish sign, but it can do something like this. Come back down like this and then probably look for an upside, but I feel that this should do something like this at this point, because RSI is also looking bearish. It's turning down with a very interesting bearish divergence, two double bearish divergence that we have on RSI, which is good, and that should play out in my view. So this is how it should play out. If you really want to be bullish, want to buy above 64 cents and then let it ride maybe for 1x 2x or so. But buying here is damn risky at this point. The structure suggests that we should be going down at this point. Daily is looking bearish. Let's look for Gala. Let's have a look at the Gala. I mean, Gala also having a very similar price action. If you look at from the weekly perspective, it looks great. I mean, they don't have any sort of a bearish price action, but for the traders who just simply follow, the range trading, for them it's not bullish. I mean, if you look at from the perspective of range, we got a move on the downside. We swept the lows, we swept the highs. So liquidity is being taken on both the ends. Very, very clean. Liquidity has been grabbed. If you look at from the wave count perspective, there are two options we can have it over here. Two options. The bottom is in first, because we are flipping the daily RSI is above the RSI based MA, and now we just really need to flip the 50% of RSI. Everything, our oscillators is turning green. Only the cross confluence is red. So once it turns green, which means that we are running up big. Gala is going to pump up a lot. Okay. The wave count over here suggests whatever wave counts I have for Gala. This is like once a very interesting wave A over here, wave B, and wave C. A B is a triangle, likely triangle. We have it. Very interesting. So likely the bottom is in, and or maybe we can have a retest of the equilibrium one more time along with everything else. From there, we are running up to the range highs of 6340 minimum. And once we go there, we will decide. We flip, we flip the range highs of 6313. We flip it up, and we are going to run it more turbo. For now, we have to just look for an upside of from the current price. You can expect an upside of 30 to 33.5%. And if you do happen to get a move on the downside to equilibrium, you can buy some spot bags there, and you can ride it for 59 to 60% move on an upside. So that's a very interesting chart that we have for Gala. It's looked bullish to me actually. The only bear case scenario would be once we start losing 3931, we start closing daily under this 3931, then Gala will be very bearish, and we are likely going to go down to the bottom of, the range lows, which will be around 1.6. So I think buying at equilibrium is the best opportunity for you, in my view. From the wave count perspective, either the move is like 1 to 1 2. So basically this was 1, this was 2, this was another wave 1 over here, this is wave 2. So this is like a 1 to 1 2. So the next ultimate move would be very, very big. Ideally, normally the wave 3 is very big, and it can take literally Gala to, to the levels that we never anticipate. Actually, it can pump up in no time towards, a target of 30 cents or maybe even more. So the wave 3 can be very, very big. It all depends. So this is the bullish count that I have. The bearish count, as I mentioned, if this is like, A, B, C, another ABC wave A, we pump it up to the range highs, just a retest, and then down like this for wave B over here, and then run up. So these are the two possibilities you can see for Gala. The bullish count is more looking good at this point, and you should be buying some at the equilibrium, or you can buy some at the current price, and you can add till 0.03962. In both the cases, you can make at least 30 to 35% gains. And if you get a proper entry of 3962, you can make a literally 59 to 60% gains. And if the bullish count plays out, which is very likelihood of it playing out because of the overall bullish narrative that we are likely going to see on meta and gaming. So I think Gala can outperform in that scenario. Overall daily, if you look at from the weekly time frame perspective, I think weekly is also looking great because it's holding the RSI 50. So weekly is bullish, daily is bullish. It's trying to flip 50. Once it flips 50, very bullish it would be on Gala at that point of time. But the price action suggests that it's bullish actually, in my view. So I'm aiming for a bullish case. Once we lose the equilibrium, which is around 396, then we will be very, very bearish. So you really know the invalidation, so you can plan your trades accordingly. Let's have a look at Jasmine. On the Binance, I think I've charted this point somewhere. Yeah. Now Jasmine is also having a very interesting accumulation that's happening right now. Many might say that, or I would say it's like a triangle formation. It can happen. It can do triangle as well over here. There can be a triangle, with ABC, but I prefer, not to be a triangle, because if you look at from the 12-hour perspective, or maybe even look at the 4-hour perspective for Jasmine. Okay, one thing is it's an accumulation because the price is holding up the support and the volume is just going down, which is a clear sign of an accumulation that's happening. So practically you need to identify a bigger support. A support is here. Your support is 14500. That's your support. If you're looking from the perspective of the price action perspective on Jasmine, the move here is clear, like wave A, B, maybe some sort of a WXY, maybe wave B, and we are likely in the wave C right now. One more sweep of the lows is the possibility, wave C, wave D, wave E, and up. So the pump that we got from here till here is going to have a partner leg from the similar pump from the lows of 786 Fibonacci levels of 1613 from here to 36. This is one way of looking at it. The worst way would be we go for irregular expanded flat, meaning, or no, sorry, not irregular expanded. We go for a simple ABC wave count, meaning we go down, we go to the support, we sweep the lows, go to the order block, reclaim the range lows over here. That will be a range lows, and then we run it up like this. So there are two ways of playing it. So how are you going to play this, guys, and how you should be playing it, in my view? So when you are doing something like this, you simply need to draw a range actually, because 0.5 Fibonacci level is very, very crucial. So just draw the range over here. I'm just going to delete this whole ABC plan for now. I hope you understood the irregular flat so that I can just know the range lows properly. So how you should be playing it, guys? There are two ways of playing. First, as I mentioned, you play when you sweep the lows. Actually, you have an equal highs, almost equal highs. Let it sweep the lows, reclaim it back, hold it, run it up, retest it, and boom. That's how you should play. You buy here. Once it go down, you buy here on reclamation, and then you run it up to the new highs. The second most important thing is, if this is don't play out, let it just reclaim the equilibrium. You buy above the equilibrium and you play the range highs like this. So you're still going to end up making a very clean, 30 to 31% move on an upside. And if you really catch this move on the bottom of the range lows over here, you can still end up making a good 88, 89% move. Buying over here, I would say I won't recommend buying over here, even if it looks great. If you have confluence, I also see one of the harmonic, but it's a little bit risky because of the accumulation that's happening. So I would recommend you guys to wait for either the sweep of the range lows, reclaim it back, and then run it back up, or just wait for it to reclaim the equilibrium. That's around the levels of 21358. Reclaim, buy, and just sell when it goes to 30-35% move on an upside. So that's what we have for Jasmine. Looking for waves, I think my plan for the waves is very, very clear. HTF, I now see that waves is being bearish, honestly, if you ask me. Weekly time frame, things have turned bearish. We have lost the 50% levels, which is not a good sign, but we can have a nice retest of EMA, RSI based MA, which is at 60%. So hence, in that anticipation, I'm expecting, waves to give us that relief bounce so that we can exit at 1 hour loss. Right now, it's holding up the support of equilibrium. So yes, I'm expecting waves to bounce towards the range highs of 3.4, and it can even go to $4 as well. But that's it. I think we are going to reject from there again and come back down to, maybe $1 or so. So I do think, whatever the bounce we're going to get for waves, 3.5 to $4, we should exit, and we will be waiting for it to flip 4.45. Once it flips 4.45, we will buy above 4.45 for it to go much, much, much higher. For now, it feels to me like a very clean 5 waves over here. You can see the 5 waves, and we are doing a bigger correction. So if you look at from the logarithmic chart perspective, you will have a very clear chart for a wave counts. You see, it's a very clean. Hold on, let me show you. See, that's a very clean bullish wolf waves. You can see over here, very clean. That's a clean 5 waves, and we have rejected. Harsh rejection has happened. So right now, HTF, it's bullish. Practically, either the move is like ABC or something. So basically, this is the end of something. And right now, we are doing, we likely going to do something like this, maybe. Something like this. There's going to maybe double bottom or sort of thing. And from there, we're going to pump up like this. So this is going to be like a wave 2. Wave 2 can also be irregular expanded flat, meaning we can even pump, from here, sweep up the highs like Sushi did, come back down, retest the equilibrium, and then we run it up. So that's the 2 way of looking waves from here. 2 possibilities over here. But overall, I'm aiming for $12 to $14 in future. But that $12 to $14, it depends on how are we going to complete this wave 2 actually. This is like a bigger wave. Either this is like a wave 2 or this is like a wave B actually. I'm still holding my spot bags. I bought at $4.2, guys. I'm down a lot, but that's fine because I think overall it's bullish. I'm just simply gonna hold. I'm 2 hour down right now at waves. My stop loss was 3.35, so that was 1 hour loss. But we held it because I knew that overall we are bullish and we should hold it actually. Our spot bags. So I'm holding my spot bags. I'm expecting something like this for waves. Either the yellow line that you're watching, either a normal ABC, or you can say the red count that you have irregular expanded flat. In both the cases, it's bullish. You should change chart colors. It is not clear. I think you are the only one who is saying basically. But maybe if everybody feels that the chart color is not good, maybe I will just change it. So if you can just elaborate basically what chart color doesn't look great, basically it's a black or maybe something else. So I will change the color accordingly. Maybe the candle color you're not finding it, properly. Maybe I'll just have a look at it. But just, I would like to ask everyone, guys. So everyone is feeling that my chart color is not clear, and you have a suggestions that I should change it, and what chart color I should change it. Basically the background, the black color that I have, or the candle color, or what. That would be very, very helpful for me to probably update actually. So thanks for the heads up. Let's everyone respond, and then I'll do it accordingly probably from the next stream. Theta and T-Fuel made some moves lately. What are your thoughts on the charts? So let's go to Theta. Theta, it's also doing a very interesting ABC, guys. I mean, no shame over here, but I think Theta is going to go very up. It's like a very clean 1, 2 over here, wave 3, ABC, wave 4. From there, we're going to see one more push up to $5 actually. So I think Theta overall it's bottomed. Your bottom is 1.7. So 1.72 is your bottom. Daily it's bullish. We are going to run up to $5 to $5.5, maybe even more, depends. But it's bullish. The bottom is in. How you likely or how you really want to play this Theta? 2 ways of playing it actually. So understand it's like an accumulation. We went for a manipulation, and right now we are likely going in an expansion phase. If that is the case, then you really want Theta to flip the red line. Once it flips, you look for buy. Okay, first thing, you need to wait for it to close daily above the red line. Once we close daily above the red line, you simply buy, and your target should be upwards of $5 to $5.5, maybe even higher, it depends. But overall, I see it's like 5 waves, so your target should not be going beyond 5.5 or something. So this is what Theta looks to me like. And if you really want to catch the knife, you really want to nail the bottom of Theta, I think your bottom move for Theta, the entry levels for Theta would be somewhere around golden pocket zone to 702 Fibonacci levels, which would be around $2 to 1.93. That's where your bottom would be for Theta, and that's where you should be buying Theta. But overall, it's bullish. I don't expect it to go back to the lows actually, or maybe even sweep it. If it does, then it makes it very, very bearish. But for now, it's very, very bullish. Let's also look for T-Fuel as you requested. Let's have a weekly chart first. Also, we're going to check Velo. One of my friends asked me Velo as well, so I need to check Velo. T-Fuel, I mean, honestly speaking, this chart is not looking that bad actually, because we are holding the range highs, basically the support. We are holding the support, so we are above the support. Good. In fact, we don't have any bearish candle on the weekly. There is no engulfing. There is no major rejection. RSI is also looking great, holding the RSI based MA. RSI confluence is green. Cross confluence is green. Only thing is EMA confluence is red, and BB confluence is not so green actually, but that doesn't make it bearish. I feel right now at this point there is a very interesting ABC move that has happened. So if you look at here, this is A, this is B, this is C, this is wave 1. Because you have an engulfing candle, so top is in, you're likely going to go for a retest of 92 cents or 93 cents, maybe even 90 cents. And from there, we're likely going to see an upward. So this is how I plan to T-Fuel. Invalidation, if you lose 81 cents, the bullish plan is going to invalid, and we are going to be bearish. So the red box is your invalidation, okay? It's bullish. T-Fuel is bullish in my view. I'm expecting one more push up towards 16 cents, maybe 18 cents, depends. But that's what. Let's move on to Velo chart. Who asked me Velo on the group? Someone asked me actually. Someone asked me. I think a lot of people have been shilling value lately, and they are anticipating it to just do like 5x or maybe 10x move. And I think Wizard also shilled it. He bought it here approximately, if I'm not wrong, on 25th of March. And since then, I'm seeing Velo pumping up to 214%. So 200% move on an upside, which is not bad. But we really need to understand that we have a breaker actually. We are currently having a very nice breaker. So that's your breaker. That's an order block. It's a breaker block actually, you can say. Two ways of looking Velo over here. If you look at, like, just simply look at from the flag perspective, we are flipping up this flag, which is good. If you were having bearish, we'd have rejected very, very harsh. But we are flipping up, which is good. So what you really want now is, you really want to buy here. I would say wait. You don't need to buy here. Why? You want Velo to flip up this box, and once it gets accepted in this red box, the price starts closing inside this red box, meaning that is the first bigger levels for you to buy the dip. Meaning you buy the dip, flip it up, and then you look for a target of here 472, giving us you another 100x 1x 100% move. So that's what you really need to wait for Velo. But if you look at it from the perspective of RSI, it's very, very, very overbought at this point. So right now you need to have slightly patience. You can't just simply go in and buy. You need to also wait for today daily closing, because if Velo did a bearish engulfing candle, then this whole bullish plan is going to get invalid, and then we're going to turn bearish, and we are likely going to, if we go get an engulfing candle, then we'll be anticipating Velo to dump it down to 1087. That's how Velo then would do actually. So today's closing is very, very crucial. So you have bullish counts, you have bearish count. So right now today, based on today's closing, if weekly closing and daily closing closes above 19145, it's good. Closing under, you just wait for it, and you just have your limits at 1024, 102. That's where you're gonna make good amount of money from there. Okay, or flip the gets acceptance on weekly above 0.021643. Once we close on weekly above this, you simply buy, because you're gonna make maybe 100%, maybe 200%, it all depends, but 100% is minimum you're gonna make once it flips above these levels. Let's talk about TNSR, Tensor. Basically, I think someone also requested me Tensor chart over here. TNSR, and he was like, no, we should be buying Tensor. What this coin is actually, let me just open CoinGecko. Is this a AI coin or what? I mean, what is this coin actually? I don't know anything about this coin. I need to TNSR. Oh, sorry. TNSR. Tensor. It's 115 million market cap, and fully diluted valuation is almost close to 920 million at the current price. 1 billion supply, and it's a Solana ecosystem basically. NFT marketplace on Solana. Interesting. Do we have any other marketplace like Tensor, but not on Solana for Ethereum? Yes, we do have. And the coin name was what? L. It started with L. What was the name of the coin? What was the? There was OpenSeas, and what was the competitor of OpenSeas? I forgot the name actually. It started with L. Loop? No, Lux, I think. What was the name? Look? No, not Look. Guys, what was the name of the alternative of or competitor of OpenSeas, guys? Can someone just enlighten me? I just forgot the name actually. It started with L. It started with L. Uh, what was the name? NFTs. What was the name? I think it was Luke or what? Can someone? Or no, nobody knows about it. I feel that looking from the PA it's very fresh from the chart perspective, but based on my experience trading with the new coins, what I've experienced that normally the coin bottoms around 786 to 886 Fibonacci levels, after which it pumps normally to 1414 and 1272 Fibonacci levels. So if you're just looking for the same thing, in my view, we will be bottoming somewhere around here, and we should be pumping up to the upside of here. So the bottom would be anywhere between 60 cents and 33 cents. Okay. And that's where your bottom should be for this coin. And your target would be decided, yeah, looks rare. Yeah, perfect. Looks rare. Looks LL. Looks rare, 100 million. And FTV is also. So, the most popular exchange to buy and trade is looks rare. Yeah, it's an NFT marketplace. So if you look here, the market cap and max, what was the max market cap it had in the bull run? It went to almost close to 1 billion. So the NFT marketplace, I mean, I really don't see, 1.1 billion. So I think this project is way overpriced, I would say, way over its competitors. So practically I really don't see at this point it been pumping up to $2.8 $3 unless NFT season kicks in, NFT volumes kick in. So right now I think I'm expecting it to dump it up like this towards 60 cents and maybe even 33.5, and after which I'm expecting slowly and gradually to pick it up the pace, going up and sweeping up the highs to $3. That's how I would like to see this token. It's going to take a lot of time for maybe it to reach $3 or so. The bullish case would be once it tries to flip up these lows of 1.57. So once it flips up here, then you can say that it's bullish. We flip up here, we will be aiming for the highs to $3. So till then I am bearish. This token this coin is definitely poised for a move down towards 886 in my view. Normally this is how it works actually. But let me just open one more thing. CoinGecko. Let's try to see the categories for NFT marketplace and what is the highest. There might be some other Solana categories, maybe categories. Let's go to the categories and let's go to the NFT marketplace. I'm just going to NFT metaverse auto NFT. Yeah, perfect. So NFT marketplace is right now the overall market cap of NFT marketplace is $1.8 billion with a 25 coins in it. So I just want to see the Solana ecosystem, correct? So we have Blur. Blur is one of the NFT marketplace, and if you see the Blur, I mean, it's bullish at this point, and I mentioned that it's gonna be bullish. The market cap is almost like 666 million. Then you have Tensor with almost 114 market cap. But if you look at the Blur, actually, let me just check Blur. What is Blur? It's a Ethereum ecosystem marketplace basically. and the, oh my god, it's a, the FDV is a 1.3 billion dollar. Let me just take the max price of Blur. Yeah, it started its journey with a pump up to and if you see here, Blur also went initial market cap of 500 million, and then we dumped almost to 150 million, and from there it started its bull run towards 1.2 billion dollars, and right now it is standing at it is standing a little like 600 million. So what is it, 0.5, so 1.2, so 2.4 billion dollar it went, because the market cap was 1.2, but the fully diluted valuation would have been somewhere into 2.2 2.4 billion dollar max, with the circulating supply of 1.6 billion coins and total supply of 3 billion, which is almost 3 times of what Lux is having, Tensor is having. But this is Ethereum ecosystem, and we are talking about the Sol ecosystem, which is still not comparable. We need to see the volume of what the Sol ecosystem versus Ethereum ecosystem basically. Yeah, I mean, I think that, yeah, this price action makes sense to me actually. I mean, we need to dump it to 60 cents, maybe 33.5, and then maybe looking upside. So I'm not interested in Tensor buying at 91 cents, of course. I would be interested in buying Tensor around 60 cents, maybe on 33 cents best, and might just wait for but honestly, I mean, I expect it to dump down actually. Colors are good, so thanks my friend. I think colors and everything is good, my friend. Maybe you need to change your Muhammad Memoon, you need to change maybe your screen settings, so that's what about Tensor. Let's also check comp. As I mentioned, my plan for the comp, I did mention that I'm expecting comp to do something like this, and it was anticipated. But the problem now is that, comp is bullish. Why? Because I think we are holding up the equilibrium. The plan is same, and it's playing out very nicely. The only problem over here that I'm watching right now for the comp is I want to have a retest of 48.5. The only problem I face and I see over here is what kind of a move that would have been. Meaning, what if this is wave 1? If this is wave 1, what if this is wave A over here, this is wave B over here, and we are doing wave C? So if this is wave C, which is like a bigger irregular expanded flat, the bottom might be in, and then we are likely going to run it up turbo because we are holding the equilibrium of $48, which is bullish. So we need to wait a little bit more for confirmation as to what wave count it is at this point, whether it is ABC or it's like 1 to 1 2. So it can be 1 to 1 2 as well. So let's just go with the log scale actually, so that I can know basically much better. Yeah, if you look at from the log scale perspective on comp, there are two possibilities. You see, I mean, the pump that happened over here with the low volume compared to the previous one, which clearly signifies to me that this was a 5-wave move. We got A, we got B, and we got a C. So that's like A, B, C. We got 1, we got 2, we got 3 over here. This is like a wave 4, and we're going to see one more move on the downside for the wave 5, or maybe A, B, C. And it can't be A, B, C, so it has to be 5 waves. So if that is the 5 waves, I think we are in accumulation phase. So the comp is in accumulation phase. The next big levels to buy the dip for comp would be somewhere around $40 to $39. I mean, that's very bullish. The more bullish part about the comp is if you really want to buy under $40 or buy above $71. In between, it's going to be a little bit chop. So if you're an investor, for you, the best risk reward would be under $40, or the best risk reward is above $71. That's the only two way, but it's bullish on the heart and time frame to me. HTF is bullish. So these are the two way you should be playing comp. Aave, let's have a look at Aave as well. So if you look about the Aave, ladies and gentlemen, I think Aave is also having a very similar chart. Till we are above 90, I feel it's very, very bullish. I mean, it's just a matter of time. We are just holding up the range. I mean, look at yourself. I mean, it's just of course I drew based on this. So if you look at yourself, I think Aave is definitely bullish. We need to hold the green line That's $90 or maybe $75, you can say. So I think, what we saw here is a very clean diagonal over here. Let me show you one more time. A very clean diagonal it was. So that is a very clean, over here. This was like a 1, 2, new highs, 3, 4, and 5, low volume wave 5. So that's a 5 waves, and then we got A, B, and C. So the bottom might be in over here. 68 is your bottom, and we are likely going to see either, maybe inside out pattern, or basically we are likely going to see 1, 2 breakout, flip it up, and we'll go to go towards a target, upper target of practically, as I mentioned, somewhere around $700 to maybe even $900 in the long run. So practically the bottom might be in at $68. The $68 might be the bottom. The worst case scenario would be that we are going for a bigger wave 2 actually. What does it mean, ladies and gentlemen? It means that we are likely going to see for an alternative wave count, practically, that we are likely going to go towards $59, maybe $60 one more time, one more sweep of the lows, and then we run back turbo. Possibilities there. But if you happen to get that anywhere under $68, it's a must buy. And I would say even buy some, start accumulating here as well, little bit. But overall, I think this is really good actually. So any dips you get towards 68 to $60 is usually accumulating AVE for the long run. You need to hold it for like maybe 6-7 months, maybe more. But yeah, I think that is going to pay you very nicely. So the last chart maybe probably for the day is total crypto market cap and total 3. So these are the two charts we're going to look at for if you look at from the total crypto market cap perspective, I still feel that we are still doing ABC over here, and as I mentioned last time as well, I am bullish. So practically, as you can see here, this is wave 1 or something, wave 2, wave 3 over here, A, B, C. The bottom is in wave 1 over here, maybe wave 2 like this, and then one more push up for the wave 5, and then come back down, sweep the lows. So the way AVE did, like a big crash is going to happen or something is going to come. We can even go to 1.8 trillion, and from there we're going to see some relief bounce. So you need to be very, very careful. But so after the pump that we are expecting, after this pump, we are going to see a big crash that's going to come. Basically, it's going to take everyone out of the market. So practically, that's why I'm saying, any push we are getting to 78, 80, we are selling our Bitcoin that we bought at 39.5. Completely, we are selling it. And I'm going to sell my 40% bag that I bought, or I would say 50% bag I bought at $16,800. So I'm just going to sell it. That's all. I want to book my profits. So that's what I'm going to do actually. For total crypto market cap, I think it's bullish. They're looking to the total 2, which is very, very important as well. And it's also following the same plan on the weekly. It's becoming bullish at this point. I do feel that at this point, I think the most important part about the total 2 is that it has turned very, very bullish. We are flipping the equilibrium. So once you flip the equilibrium, the next target, we already reached the alternative wave 4 target of 161 at 1414. So right now the plan is to run it up to 1.4, maybe 1.5 trillion dollars to the range highs, maybe even sweeping it up, and then come back down again to equilibrium, after which we are going to see another impulsive move to 1.6 trillion dollar. But that's what about the total 2. I mean, it all depends on how Bitcoin dominance is going to lose and it's going to play. So that is what I feel at this point, that even if let's say Bitcoin pumps 20-25%, 15 to 20%, I feel Earth is going to pump 40% and 42% on upside. Well, that's what they're going to do actually. So that's what I feel, that we should be having a little bit more exposure on alt at this point rather than Bitcoin. I mean, this is how I see it's going to do. So that's like a perfect irregular flat. I might not reach 1.4 trillion is also good, but that's what I feel that it's going to do actually. So but after that pump, you're going to see a very nasty crash on alts, and maybe a bigger dump is going to come. And that's why I'm saying, guys, you have to prepare mentally yourself that quarter 3 is going to be a little bit more sideways choppiness. Even I would say May might be good, but June maybe, I'm not sure. Mid of June might not be good. It all depends where this pump is going to end. If the pump happens in the May itself, then we are going to see a bigger dump in May itself, May, June, and quarter 3 might be good as well. Depends. So it all depends on how are we topping, when are we topping. It all depends actually. But after this, we are going to see a larger degree of dump in my view. So that's all for the today's stream, guys. And if you like this video, do like, please, guys, like it. More than 100 viewers over here. Just press the like button and show your love. And if you like to, have any queries, ping me on the Discord. And wishing you a very nice weekend, guys. I'm simply waiting for Bitcoin to fill us and give our, entry practically. So that's all. I mean, I simply gonna wait a little bit more. But if something changes, if you're turning bullish, then definitely we're gonna go market buy, because we don't want to miss the pump to $78,000-$80,000. Okay, that's all. Thanks a lot, guys. So you all have scenarios for Bitcoin on the lower term time frame. That's like, I just wanna repeat it one more time. So you have a cipher. This is scenario 1 cipher, a push up to 66,000 on Monday, and then dump it back to 61,000. Diagonal, a dump from here straight away to 61,850, fill us and then run back turbo, or irregular expanded flat, a push up to 65,500, sweep the highs, take liquidity, and then dump it back to $61,000. So these are the 3 scenarios that I have for Bitcoin on the lower term time frame. These are lower term time frame scenarios. A midterm scenario, I've already explained to you that we are bullish, and I'm anticipating anywhere between $76,000 to $78,000, maybe $80,400. But this fib is what makes me more sense than ever. That the top would be somewhere around this box is what I'm aiming for. Sell over here, even if it wants to go 80,000, I don't mind. I am not gonna wait for 80,000 for like $3,000 move. No, I'm simply gonna sell in between this red box, and maybe we're gonna wait for it to either have a concrete flip of 69,000 and make just Bitcoin. Maybe if this is just like a bigger wave 1 we are talking about, then yes, it's not going to stop at $78,000. Another like a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, 4, and it's going to probably push it up to $90,000 as well. It all depends, but I just don't want to be greedy. We have the schematic 1 and schematic 2 in play for week off. So that's what the target for now at this point. We will see how fast we go there to $76,000, $78,000. Okay, and we will also see how the USD dominance would be at that point of time. So that's all for the market, guys, update. And if you have any queries, to ping me. So today I won't be able to answer your queries. I'm just going off at this point. And if you have any queries, to ping me, so I'll be able to answer it tomorrow. Have a nice weekend, guys. Take care.